In a world that often seems indifferent to human suffering, a revolutionary concept emerges: the power of positive affirmations. The idea that I want can be transformed into I have unveils a new dimension of self-perception and empowerment. God won't give you more than you can handle. Have you ever thought this or likely heard others say it? This statement challenges the conventional understanding of prayer and desire, suggesting that, contrary to popular belief, the universe has a hidden order, a sort of system that operates beyond our immediate comprehension. The fact is that everything we could ask for or desire is already within our reach. We're simply not experiencing it. It is implied that all events, past, present, and future, are occurring simultaneously, and all that is needed is to access this sea of endless possibilities. The key to unlocking this reality is a triad of actions: thought, word, and deed. Every thought we hold, every word we speak, and every action we take shape the reality we choose to experience. This understanding suggests that we are not at the mercy of an uninterested universe, but rather we are active co-creators of our own experience. By reframing our way of thinking from I want to I have, we not only affirm our power to act, but also align ourselves with the spiritual and timeless dynamics of the universe. If your prayer is, "Please give me what I need today to survive," you'll find it difficult to get what you need, because this statement stems from an implicit belief that you don't currently have what's necessary. Otherwise, you wouldn't be asking. This foundational thought, which Neale Donald Walsch's book, Conversations with God, describes as the sponsoring thought, exerts a significant influence on creating your reality moment by moment. Therefore, if you ask for something or say, "I want something," the universe has only one answer for a statement like that. Indeed, you want because you do not have. Thus, the universe interprets your feeling of scarcity and sends you more scarcity in response. And this is correct because the universe always answers yes. It is important to understand this. The universe has a universal answer for every thought, and that answer is always yes to everything you think, feel, say, or do. The upside of this is that divine intelligence never says no. The downside is that for those who do not know how the system works, divine intelligence always says yes. So if you say, "I am tired and fed up with my life being this way," divine intelligence responds, "Yes, it's true, you are a person tired of life." And this is perpetuated because you are sending to the universe the feeling of being disappointed with life. This vibration will be returned to you. The correct affirmation is, "My life is wonderful." When you say, "I want more money," divine intelligence answers, "Yes," and you will have the experience of lacking money as you are declaring what is true for you, not having money. The correct thing is to affirm, "Money comes to me more and more every day." Now, it's important to understand that it's not just about choosing the right words or starting to analyze every sentence excessively. There's no need to obsess over every syllable spoken. However, it is crucial that you deeply examine your thoughts, or in other words, the fundamental idea that originates your words. It's essential to reflect on this. If your words stem from a perception of scarcity, and the idea that there isn't enough, constantly asking for more, initially you are trying to overcome the belief that resources are insufficient, which is extremely difficult since that is your base belief. And at this moment, the thought that should be going through your head might be, "All this in theory sounds perfect," except when someone's experience is consistently one of scarcity. How could we think otherwise when everything around us seems to be falling apart? The answer to that question is the same one all the great spiritual masters have already answered. Each in their own way and in their own time. Do not judge by appearances. Perhaps this metaphorical and symbolic answer is not the answer you seek or would like to hear. And that is precisely why it is so important to understand some concepts. The difference between the law of attraction and manifestation is a topic that fascinates many, but did you know that, historically, the law of attraction dates back to the Hermeticists of the 1st or 2nd century AD? They believed in the power of the mind and used the term law of attraction. Later, in the 19th century, Phineas Quimby further promoted this idea, which was followed by influential works such as Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. This philosophical movement posits that there is a universal power that, when properly mobilized with the right message, can materialize desires. Of course, this idea has been embraced and even distorted by some proponents of what is pejoratively labeled as magical thinking or pseudoscience. However, one cannot deny that there is a genuine foundation in the law of attraction, despite it often being wrapped in layers of misconceptions that can obscure its true potential. The law of attraction is often synonymous with manifestation, in that both deal with the power to bring intentions and desires into reality. The crucial point, however, is that we are all constantly manifesting something in our lives, often inefficiently, and without applying the proper techniques that could maximize the potential to manifest these intentions truly. Understanding how the brain works and how these techniques can be applied in one's life is essential. The secret key lies in how to get the information to remain in your subconscious mind. Affirming "I have this" may or may not work, as we are constantly distracted by numerous things. However, once we learn to access our subconscious level, we can learn to manipulate it through different techniques. By using these techniques, it's possible to maximize the absorption of this information. Imagine developing the ability to instill your intention consciously. Can you imagine the wonderful things you would manifest in your life? Certain meditation practices can have profound effects on the physical brain, demonstrating the power we have over our minds, a notable example of how constant practice can rewire your brain. This brings us to the core idea of the law of attraction. Everything is in the mind. When disciplined and accessible, we are capable of transforming physical and mental challenges into achievements. But how do we access this power? The answer is related to the phenomenon of the vibrational field. Brainwaves and the energy or vibration of the heart are key here. The heart's vibrational field, for example, is remarkably powerful and can be detected from 1 to 2 meters away. This force not only illustrates the distinction between myths and reality, but also how vibrations can influence the surrounding environment. The vibrational field plays an essential role in human interactions. People who emit positive energy are non-judgmental, are accepting, and are respectful naturally attract others around them. Just like the phenomenon of metronomes on a table that eventually synchronizes their movements, we humans also synchronize our energies in response to the vibrations around us. If someone nearby exhibits chaotic vibration, it can inadvertently induce others into a similar state, or conversely, a calm person can bring serenity to those around them. We all carry memories from our childhood that are etched into our subconscious, and until we become aware that these memories influence every decision we make and every relationship we maintain, we cannot bring about change. Much of our behavior is programmed from an early age. We were conditioned as children to adopt a set of beliefs and ways of thinking and feeling about our environment and relationships. Then, we lived with this for decades until we began to become aware. But often we repeat these patterns until something serious happens, such as sorrow, a breakup, or another event that makes us awaken. It is known that if you tell yourself that something is not possible, by definition, it really becomes impossible. When people adopt this mindset, they are, in a way, relinquishing their power to act. The fact is, the universe doesn't care about you because it doesn't have the capacity to care. There is no external entity that decides your fate based on being a good or bad person. However, we possess immense power within us to control our own destiny. And by listening to internal criticisms, you are limiting your own beliefs. But how can you improve your beliefs? The answer to this question is to understand the incredible power that resides within you. When you sit down every day and say, "I am not worthy, I don't deserve love, this isn't possible, I am an imposter, I can't," it's as if you are building a prison around yourself, brick by brick. By understanding and recognizing the incredible power within you to change your destiny, extraordinary things can happen. This is how you move from believing that others are in charge to truly taking control. Suppose you want to learn how to break these limiting beliefs and create more positive beliefs that support you. This will allow you to feel emotionally free and start attracting more of what you want in your life. In that case, this next video talks precisely about that.